Thank you very much, everybody, for spending your Sunday afternoon with us at ELLI English Language Learning Institute. This is our launching event, and this is just the start, and we would love to have everyone on board starting today. So to start with, this is our program today. We will have our introduction of our organization, then we will have our first session with Miss Shirley Agrupis, the CHED Commissioner of the Republic of the Philippines. And we will also have Jennie Rothman from Kanda University, and of course, Mr. Mike from Meiho, Junior High School. And please stay at the end of the until the end of the program because we are going to introduce our programs to you guys and how you can become a member of ELI. And of course, we will also have an open forum of the questions that you have as English teachers or what else we have for you. Okay, so just a short introduction of ELI, or the English Language Learning Institute. This is an organization that we put up teachers that have experience, years of experience teaching in Japan and training English teachers in Japan. We would like to support teachers, and we will also want to have spaces for learners. And we decide to build something independent, inclusive, and sustainable. So our vision is for community where English learning and teachers are empowering, collaborative, and research informed. And our mission is to advance English education in Japan through training, research community, and also intercultural collaboration. Uh, by the way, we have trivia questions for you guys later. So if you can take notes of this information that we are giving, so you can answer the trivia questions and win prizes. Okay. So again, our vision is to have an English learning and teaching that is empowering, collaborative, and research informed. And our mission is to advance English education in Japan through training, research, community, and intercultural collaboration. Our core values, we have four: equity, lifelong learning, integrity, and excellence. And these core values guide us, officers in ELI, in whatever endeavor that we do. So ELI is an incorporated, it is registered at Tokyo Legal Affairs Bureau, and we are formally established on August 21st, 2025. So as a general incorporated organization, we are legally recognized as a not-for-profit organization in Japan. We operate for social and educational benefits. We are governed by registered board members and formal bylaws. Okay. We ensure transparency, accountability, and quality assurance, and we can formally partner with schools, institutions, and local governments. And the certificates that we provide to our attendees have formal organizational backing and professional credibility. So our purpose is to conduct training on English language teaching and learning, to conduct research on English language teaching and learning, to develop and implement short-term intensive English courses, to plan English courses, develop and produce teaching materials and other instructional materials, to provide guidance to teachers and promote continuing professional development, to promote intercultural understanding through social and community events. And these are just the core services that we have for teachers, although they will be explained in details later in the program. So we have the TESOL pathways, the certificate programs, workshops, and webinars, and of course the teachers teaching community and mentoring. All right, so let me introduce to you our board of directors at ELI. So ELLI Fujimoto, myself as the executive director, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And we have Ms. Marife Carpio, the Director of Professional Development. We have Ms. Maria Teresa Nibori, the Director of Immersion Programs. Ms. Sampaguita Salazar as the Director of um, ex ex External Relations and Advocacy. And also Ms. Maurice Endo as the Director of Finance, and Patricia Leonel Badivalla Mashta as our auditor. So these are the 6 people that compose ELLI for now. But of course, we are very much happy to welcome you guys to be our members. So first, we have to start with our first session. Let me call on our Director of Professional Development, Ms. Marife Carpio, to introduce our first speaker.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Our keynote speaker for this afternoon doesn't really need introduction, I think, but here I go. It is my honor to introduce a transformative force in Philippine higher education. Her name is Dr. Shirley Agrupis, the newly appointed chairperson of the Commission on Higher Education. A trailblazing academic leader, global scholar, and twice recognized Presidential Lingkod Bayan awardee, she has built a legacy of excellence defined by innovation, internationalization, and unwavering public service. As the first alumna to become president of Mariano Marcos State University, she propelled the institution to global prominence, earning an ISO certification, advancing from a 3-star to a 4-star Quacquarelli-Simons or QS rated university, and securing world-leading rankings in generative AI application, global resilience, and industrial innovation. Her leadership has been celebrated nationwide and internationally, from the Amity Award for strengthening Philippines-China relations, to honors from ACUP, CHED, NAST, and the Climate Change Commission, and many more. Today, she stands at the helm of the Commission on Higher Education with a bold vision, a globally competitive, socially responsive, and future-ready higher education system that advances national development through SDG-driven research, equity, excellence, and resilience. Please welcome a distinguished researcher, a visionary reformer, and one of the most awarded public servants in Philippine higher education, the CHED chairperson, Dr. Shirley C. Agrupis.
Yeah. Maraming salamat, Mafe. Dr. Mafe, honto ni arigato gozaimasu. At magandang hapon po sa lahat. Minasan konnichiwa. Now, first of all, I would like to congratulate the founders, the partners, and collaborators of the English Language Learning Institute, a very timely institute when that comes very timely kung kailan bumababa ang image ng Philippines when it comes to English proficiency. The initiative is very timely, necessary, and aligned with the current national imperatives of the Philippines. The Philippines today confronts, as you can see everywhere and read everywhere, the Philippines is confronted on an uncomfortable truth. Our English advantage, something that has defined our global identity for decades, is weakening. For many years, English proficiency has been the backbone of our international competitiveness. The world knows this. It built the BPM industry from the ground up, brought the foreign companies to our shores, and enabled millions of Filipinos to secure employment abroad. It allowed Filipino teachers to excel in Japan, Middle East, and Southeast Asia, not only as language instructors, but also as curriculum designers, assessors, and education leaders. across industries, healthcare, maritime, hospitality, engineering, and education. The ability of Filipinos to communicate effectively in English has always been the differentiator among other nationalities in Asia. But that advantage cannot be assumed anymore, unfortunately. Recent data make this painfully clear. The 2023 Social Weather Station survey shows that only 47% of Filipino adults consider themselves competent in English, a sharp decline compared to previous decades. More concerning is the generational pattern. Younger Filipinos who should be more exposed to global media and digital learning score lower in proficiency than generations before them. This is a serious warning sign because the youth will make up the workforce that must navigate increasingly complex communication demands in global industries. Moreover, the Philippines' position in the EF English Proficiency Index has drastically dropped. I choose to give you data so that your newly your organization or the English Language Learning Institute should be guided on this data. So it shows that from third place, Philippines from third place in 2016, we now sit at 28. Our score remains above the world average, but the downward trajectory is drastic, especially in English proficiency. And this is not happening in isolation. Other countries, our direct competitors in the global market, are improving aggressively, like China, Japan. Especially, I would like to mention here, Vietnam has scaled up a massive national English program. Malaysia has fully aligned its curriculum with the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, or what we call CEFR. Thailand and Japan now benchmark learner progress annually using CEFR levels. These countries are investing heavily and planning decades ahead. So, if we fail to act decisively, we will be overtaken, not because of a lack of talent, but because of a lack of urgency. Kaya po, ako'y natutuwa sa inyong grupo and you come up with this English Language Learning Institute. Now, this decline matters because English proficiency is no longer simply an academic metric. It is an economic requirement. It affects employability, migration eligibility, workplace readiness, and access to global opportunities. Sa mga nakikinig na kapwa Pilipino, I hope that you keep this data in your heart and the challenge. Industries that once hired Filipinos almost automatically are becoming more selective. This is a reality. The IT BPM industry now differentiates hiring and career tracks based on CEFR proficiency. Healthcare systems abroad require stricter proof of English proficiency for visas, licensure, and hospital onboarding. International scholarships and student mobility programs look for CEFR-aligned test results. Even maritime, even aviation, engineering, and hospitality roles require communication certification. The world has moved forward, and I want to emphasize that English is now the baseline competency, not the add-on. Without strong proficiency, Filipinos will face barriers to global employment, career advancement, and socio-economic mobility. Opportunities that once defined the Filipino workforce may no longer be guaranteed. So therefore, in the Commission, we recognize this urgency, and it is part of this recognition I want to share to the English Language Learning Institute team. Hence, In the commission, we have launched the National Roadmap for Global Competitiveness in Communication Skills. The NRGCCS is a comprehensive 3-year strategy to align Philippine higher education with the common European framework of reference for languages. Not because it is fashionable, but because it is the global benchmark used in more than 80 countries. So if you want Filipino graduates to compete internationally, or workers across the globe to compete internationally, then the standards we follow must be international as well. Over the past years, we laid down the foundations for the shift through nationwide CEFR workshops. I mean national workshop. We conducted it across almost 2,000 higher education institutions in the Philippines, both private and government. So the NRGCCS has reached more than 84,600 online viewers and engaged 94% of state universities and colleges. These workshops enabled faculty, administrators, and program heads to understand CEFR levels and the type of teaching and assessment required to move learners from A2 to B1, from B1 to B2, and higher. The goal is very clear. The Commission is now dedicating its effort to really upgrade the English proficiency, not only reading but also understanding. So through the 2022 Master's Teachers Training, 282 faculty members and department heads from 134 institutions were trained in CEFR-informed curriculum design, instruction, and evaluation. So this is one of the most extensive and targeted language capability building programs that CHED has undertaken. The roadmap also prioritizes equitable access. One of its most significant achievements is the development of the Duolingo English for Tagalog speakers course. A member of the NRGCC's technical team designed the entire curriculum, and today nearly 1 million Filipinos are using it for free. Now, this democratizes access to English development in ways that were not possible before. So meanwhile, CHED funded open educational resources from Batangas State University, the University of the Visayas, Central Scholar University, and the Lyceum of the Philippine University. Batangas are creating new CEFR-aligned English materials that institutions nationwide can adopt without paying for commercial software or textbooks. The message is simple. English proficiency must not depend on a student's economic background. It should be accessible to anyone who needs it. Strengthening the country's language ecosystem also requires collaboration with industries that rely on strong communication skills. That is why CHED engaged partners such as IBPAP, PMAP, PACOCOA, all the other group of higher education institutions are already boarded in. Now, these organizations represent employers, HR leaders, accreditors, and workforce stakeholders. Their support ensures that CEFR standards are aligned with the industry requirements, not just classroom theory, because language proficiency is ultimately validated in the workforce, in how graduates write reports, communicate with clients, lead teams, negotiate, and collaborate across cultures. The next phase of the NRGCC focuses on sustainability and structural reform. CHED is now developing a national scorecard on English proficiency, the first standardized baseline data set for the country. I hope that the English Language Learning Institute that you are launching now will soon communicate with CHED so that you can align your standard with the current program that we are advocating now. Now, I want to emphasize also that this scorecard will allow us to track proficiency levels across regions and institutions, guiding policy reforms and strengthen institutional accountability. And I am so happy to hear that your institute is covering from teaching to learning, designing standard until research. So the trend now, so that I hope that in the nearest future, your team will find connection to Commission on Higher Education, because we review how CEFR benchmarks can be integrated into SUC leveling, accreditation framework, PSGs, faculty development, and quality assurance mechanisms. These steps ensures that language proficiency is not treated as an optional enhancement, but as an educational requirement tied to global competitiveness. The goal is clear. For priority programs, graduates should achieve at least CEFR B2, the level required for international employment, licensure, and academic mobility. This initiative of the Commission is strengthened under recalibrated strategic framework, the Achieve Agenda, which directly advances key national priorities ranging from human capital development and employability to bureaucratic efficiency and sustainability. It is within the context of national development that the significance of ELLI becomes clear. I repeat, it is in national development that your institute becomes highly significant. Your mission to advance English education through teacher development, research, and intercultural collaboration directly addresses the country's most pressing needs, better teacher preparation, research-informed methodologies, and globally aligned instructional practices. What makes your institute ELLI's establishment important is that it is a proactive response by Filipino educators like you. You recognize the decline. At ako po'y nagpapasalamat sa inyong lahat kasi hindi na namin problemahin ang ating mga teachers at kapwa Pilipino sa Japan. So you recognize the gap. And this is a measure of your nationalism. And you choose to build solutions rather than wait for them. With that, I commend everyone. ELLI strengthens the ecosystem that CHED is working to develop. As global expectations for English proficiency rise, we need institutions that can prepare teachers, develop relevant training programs, and create opportunities for learners to engage in real intercultural communication. The demand for Filipino English teachers abroad remains strong, but the bar is rising. Japan, for instance, is raising qualification standards for English instructors. So are Thailand, Vietnam, and the Middle East. Filipino educators and workers in other fields must therefore be equipped with training that reflects global requirements, not outdated or inconsistent standards. ELLI's work can help ensure that Filipino teachers and other field of expertise remain competitive, remain credible, and internationally prepared. This is why we call on ELLI to work alongside us at the Commission on Higher Education back here in your very own country to build up your English competitiveness. The work ahead demands consistency, urgency, and collaboration. The Philippines cannot rely on historical reputation. Global employers look at present competencies. We must treat English proficiency not merely as a subject in school, but as a national economic strategy. It thus affects workforce readiness, investor confidence, mobility pathways, and our ability to participate in industries shaped by globalization, artificial intelligence, and digital transformation. I trust that ELLI we look on these priorities we set for the Commission on Higher Education, because the programs that we are doing here back in the Philippines is not only for the local Filipino residents, but global Filipino around the world. So there, CHED will continue implementing this roadmap, expanding training. So whatever you need from us, please feel free to contact us. And we want to join with you in integrating proficiency outcomes into quality assurance policies. But government efforts are only one part of the solution. We need institutions like ELLI to multiply these initiatives, extend their reach, and provide innovative programs that keep pace with international standards. So, my dear friends, founders of ELLI and officials of ELLI, today's launch is more than a ceremonial event, and I'm very happy to be part of it. It is a statement that Filipino educators are ready to live, ready to adopt, and ready to raise the standard once again. The Commission stands with you. We welcome this partnership and we look forward to working with you in strengthening English education for Filipino learners and ensuring that Philippines remain competitive, relevant, and respected in the global community. I must reiterate that way back in 1996 to 2000, I enjoyed teaching English in Japan. I hope that you will not only cover the Filipino residents in Japan, but embrace all nationalities, because Filipino is not for Philippines, but for the global stage. Maraming salamat and congratulations to the English Language Learning Institute. God bless everyone. Kontoni, arigato gozaimasu.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairperson Agrupis. Your message gives us both a challenge and a direction. And we thank you for clearly connecting the national CFAR-based reforms with the work of organizations like ELLI, or the English Language and Learning Institute. Also, your emphasis on urgency, global competitiveness, and teacher development strengthens our resolve to actively contribute to national efforts. Furthermore, I believe that everything that you have said today affirms the need for institutions like ELLI to be proactive and responsive. Your message reinforces that this launching is more than symbolic. It is a commitment to helping our teachers and learners meet global standards. Thank you very much. So at this point, may we ask if you could answer a few questions from our participants? I believe we have 5 to 10 minutes to welcome any questions. From those who are in Zoom, you can go ahead and unmute yourself, or if you want, you can post your question in chat and we will read it for you. Comments are also welcome. Feedback. We have one here and they said, yes to raise the standards, indeed. Any questions? Yes. Oh, we have one question. Sir Mike, go ahead, please. Unmute yourself and please pose your question.
Again, thank you so much for the time that you spent with us today. You mentioned earlier that there are CHED programs that Filipinos can access. Could you share what types of CHED programs there are?
CHED, Sir Mike is asking about CHED programs that Filipinos can access.
Oh, Very good question. So you please help us disseminate this online. So I hope this is being participated in. Wow, wow. CHED implements the UNIFAS law, the RA 10931, that all students, Filipino students who enroll in government funded universities, there are 113 of them, and local universities and are avail of the free access to education, free tuition fee. Another access that we would like to emphasize is the tertiary education subsidy. Lahat po na ibibigay ng DSWD natin na belonging to the poorest of the poor shall be given free tuition fee plus living allowances. The number one, kaya masaya ako kanina, we have this lifelong learning na one of your core values in ELLI. Now we have so many programs accessible to every Filipino who would like to participate in our program. We have the micro credential. Soon we will be putting in the same portals that if even if you are graduate of a baccalaureate degree, if you want to enhance your special degree according to the needs of the workforce where you are in, there are micro credentials. So of course, we are just starting micro credentials, but we are creating a seamless pathway that may even lead to a mas advanced graduate school. Halimbawa po, graduate ka ng teacher at you take in micro-credential to English, your English proficiency, it can be ladderized to bring you to a masteral degree. Kaya I am encouraging the English Language Learning Institute to partner with us so that we can debundle a certain major in teacher education, masteral education into a micro credential that are stackable, that can earn credits and units leading to a master or PhD program. So everything will become accessible. We will be before the end of the year. We are currently digitalizing everything in the Philippines in the commission. If you go to eGov, wala noon ang CHED, ngayon meron na. So we are slowly populating the link that is dedicated to the Commission on Education so that you can see all platforms that we have, including lifelong learning, access to education, and other forms of scholarship. Yeah, Mafe, I think I am going to entertain just one more question,
one
and I
more
have to
question.
leave. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Do we have any other questions from our participants? You can raise your hand and Sandra. Okay, Sandra, go ahead, please.
Yes,
Unmute yourself and go.
All right. Okay, so first of all, I want to honor and acknowledge each one of you for creating ELI. And my question is, what kind of community do you have? And what can we gain from being part of it?
Okay. Sandra, we will answer that in a short while. We have a presentation on that one. We got all the information that you need, so please stay with us until the end of the launching program, okay? All right. For now, we are entertaining questions for the chairperson's presentation a while ago. I have here one question, Dr. Agrupis, on research and innovation. So what kinds of research output do you hope to see from institutions like ELI that would support the goals, especially of the NRG-CCS?
Yeah, that is a very good question. No? Since we are talking here of English proficiency, I hope that ELI, am I pronouncing it right? ELI will embark into a research that evaluates where these English speakers from the Philippines, kung saan where we are weak at and where we are strong at, so that we will study how we can fill in the gap. That's the number one research that we want. And in terms of age bracket, we need to prove na yung mga kabataan ngayon, they are failing to the expectation that they should be the most efficient English speakers. So so that if you have this kind of result across demographic, across age uh, demographic, then we shall be able to construct a more effective teaching modules to upgrade. Another one that I would like to challenge the ELLA is that it's not enough that you know how to speak and read English. You read English because yung bang functional literacy should be one of the major research area that ELLA should be focusing on, especially those working in the industry.
All right, maraming salamat po, Chairperson Agrupis. Your presence today is not only an honor for us, but also a powerful reminder that Filipino educators, wherever we are in the world, can contribute meaningfully to the nation's development. Maraming salamat po ulit for taking time off your busy schedule to be with us this afternoon. And to the staff of Chairperson Agrupis, maraming salamat po. On behalf of the founders, partners, and everyone here today, our sincerest appreciation. ELLI is committed to walking alongside Chad's vision. Maraming salamat po, and we hope to have that dialogue with you at a different time. And we know you have another speaking engagement, so we will let you go. Maraming salamat po ulit. Thank you.
Yeah, permission to leave. Thank you. I reiterate that anything that you need, if you want collaboration and further accreditation, feel free to contact us. Mafia Carpio has all my contact details. Thank you and God bless everyone.
Maraming salamat po. Arigato gozaimashita.
Anthony, arigato.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, let us continue with our program as we officially open the next chapter of the English Language Learning Institute. On to you, Director ELLI.
Okay, thank you very much, Marife, and thank you very much, Dr. Agrupis. I stand corrected. She is the chairperson of the Commission on Higher Education. And I think one of the things that we can do right away at ELLI is to uh, to put some links on our website to these programs that the chairperson was talking about. So, people have a starting point. If they visit our website, they can see what else they have, what else they can do to improve their English abilities, to improve their teaching proficiency, not only English proficiency, but teaching proficiency. And we are very much excited at ELLI to collaborate with the Commission on Higher Education. And I think this is a very good chance for us as an organization and for the Filipinos in Japan. This is both an honor and a big responsibility that we are very much willing to take on, and we are very much excited to jump into really, really soon. So again, thank you very much, Chairperson Agrupis. Okay, so to continue with our to our program, I would like to call on Ms. Maria Teresa Nibori to introduce our second speaker.
Okay, welcome to the formal launching of ELLI. Ladies and gentlemen, we are really happy to have you all in our launching today. And of course, after that very promising and very inspirational message of our dearest chairman, I have the honor and the privilege to introduce to you again, to introduce to you the second speaker of today's launching. Okay. She is a senior coordinator of teacher professional development in the English Language Institute at Kanda University of International Studies. She has a master's degree in TESOL from Teachers College, Columbia University. She has been teaching in Japan since 2004. Her academic interests include critical thinking and global issues in the language classroom, writing centers, EFL teacher professional development, and reflective practice. She's a great support for Filipino English teachers here in Japan. And of course, the ELLI, she has been mentioning to me how we should not hesitate to ask for her support, and I'm sure we will all be inspired with her presentation. Although her presentation is not live today, she has prepared a very pre-recorded presentation. And okay, okay, let's welcome the second speaker, Miss Jennie Roloff Rothman.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the English Language Learning Institute launch event. I am extremely honored and proud to be participating in this event today. I'm very sorry I'm not able to join you all in person, but the video of me is the next best thing. So again, as I said, I wanted to thank everyone for this particular opportunity. I don't normally get to actively support other educators outside my university's kind of structure or some of the other professional organizations that I'm in. So this is another opportunity for me to reach another population, and I'm absolutely thrilled to do so. I'm going to be starting in just a few moments. At the end of my talk, I'm going to share a link where people can write down some questions, and I will try to answer them and find a way to share that information back with those who attend today, and also include my email address if anybody wishes to contact me. All right, so without any further ado, today's talk that I'm going to be giving is called Reflective Practice and Critical Friendships, Flexible Tools for Teacher Professional Development. Now, why did I pick this particular topic? Well, so I was asked to speak about these particular topics: learning communities, peer mentoring, and shared inquiry. So when I kind of thought about what do I do, what's my area of expertise, and how can that kind of overlap with these three ideas, to me, reflective practice and critical thinking, critical friendships, those things are all what come to mind. And I think when we talk about the concept of learning communities, I wanted to start with this particular quote that I always kind of come back to when I think about teacher professional development. Those who contribute the most to the profession and to their students' learning see their own continual learning and development as crucial to their work. So when we usually use the term learning communities, we're thinking about it in terms of student learning communities. But for the purposes of this, and I think for ongoing teacher professional development, teachers are also in learning communities with other teachers, right? We're never done learning. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the other parts of the talk. As I mentioned, the kind of topics I'll be covering, I'm going to start by introducing reflection and reflective practice. I'm going to show you a list of various tools, but again, the main one I'm going to be talking about is critical friendships, and my experience related to this particular one, and why I recommend both reflective practice and critical friendships in particular for teacher development. So one of the questions I'd like you to keep in your mind now, as we get started, is this: what does it mean to reflect on your teaching practice? If I ask you to reflect on your teaching, what comes to mind? What do you think of? Do you think of moments in your classroom? Do you think of good situations? Do you think of struggles or frustrating or bad situations in your classroom? Do you think of interactions between students, interactions between colleagues when you talked about something related to classroom practice? It can mean lots of different things, right? So what I'd like to emphasize for the purpose of today's discussion is getting you to think about what reflection is, but also what is not meant by the word reflection when I say this. So the Japanese word that's often translated or used when we talk about reflection is hansei. And, you know, this is a good word, but built into the meaning in Japanese is a bit of a negative meaning of, you know, focus on what can be improved, right? What did you do wrong? What did you do poorly? How can you improve it? And that in and of itself is not inherently bad. But what it does do is it cancels out or minimizes the positives, right? We don't only do bad things or unsuccessful things in the classroom. There's also things that we do well. And so for this purpose, reflection here is not self-criticism. Reflection is understanding yourself better, right? And part of where this idea comes from and why I really kind of embrace it, you can see the quote on the top right from Atsuko Watanabe. She first really pointed this out to me when we worked together and we talked about reflective practice. What it really comes down to is rather than focusing on what you're good at or what you're bad at, it's on understanding what you're doing. So I have these two fundamental questions here in yellow. Do you know why you're doing what you're doing? And are you doing what you ought to be doing or what you think you ought to be doing, right? And these come from Tom Farrell, who is a leading expert in language teacher reflective practice. And I think that you can't really simplify it or boil it down to anything simpler than this. It's understanding yourself, right? And that can be good points, and that can be points that you need to work on. Definitions of reflection. Another way to think of it, Stephen Mann said, it's a process of inner dialogue, right? So we learn, we develop an awareness of what we're doing through an inner dialogue, reflection. And as it says here, that can happen individually or collaboratively. Different people work in different ways. What I'm going to be talking about today is collaborative reflective practice, but not everybody likes to do that. And also, furthermore, we don't always have the opportunity or the resources. Maybe there isn't another person with us. So it's useful to be able to know how to do reflective practice by yourself and also with others. Another thing here, Bailey says that reflection, why it's useful is because it helps teachers recognize and confront their own beliefs, values, and assumptions, right? Recognizing what we think, but also confront, because maybe we are teaching in a way that doesn't match our practices, or maybe our beliefs are causing us to do a particular practice that maybe is outdated, maybe it's counterintuitive to the mission or the aims of the institution. There's a variety of different things that could mean. But again, understanding, but also realizing that maybe not everything is perfect either. Getting into reflective practice in particular, as a definition here, it's more than just fleeting thoughts during your lesson or thinking about, oh, how did that lesson go today? That's the beginning of reflective practice, but that's not really what it is. It needs to be more systematic, and it really means examining, it says here, what you do in the classroom and why you do it. Really thinking about your beliefs and seeing if your practices are consistent with those values, those beliefs. Another definition here, again, from Watanabe. As I mentioned before, we have Farrell and Watanabe. Watanabe describes it here as the activity of looking back over one's actions and making new meaning. Again, understanding yourself, understanding who you are as an educator. Another name to look for, if you want to look at other literature on this, is that of Donald Schoen. And I really like this particular quote because I think oftentimes teachers talk with each other about what goes on in their classroom, but maybe they're not using the technical meta language, or maybe they're not using the specific terminology of their field, but they are talking about what goes on, and they have a lot of experience and a lot of things to offer. And so as you can see here, professionals know more about the practice than they can articulate, right? So again, they know what they're doing, but maybe they're not always able to explain everything that they're doing. But they can generate knowledge about their practice, and when they do explain it, it's useful for other people, right? So being able to talk about what you do can help others who are also doing the same thing as you. And this is kind of the core of collaborative reflective practice. So he mentions 3 different things: knowledge in action while things are going on action afterwards, and in action during lessons. I don't have much time to go into this, but I thought it would be useful to share this just in case you want to look for it later. So really what it comes down to is reflective practice is informed practice, right? Informed by what you have noticed you do in your classrooms, informed by what you believe is the best thing that you should be doing, right? So informed practice really is best practice. And that's what we're really aiming for, is what are the best practices for us in our classroom or our teaching situation. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of different tools that we can use for reflective practice. You can see here dialogue, right? This can just be talking with other people or bringing up conversation topics. Perhaps writing. I know a few people that love journaling. They keep a teaching journal and they write in it religiously every day and kind of read back through. There's also lesson study, concept maps, right? Maybe you're visual, and so drawing out things and drawing lines and connecting ideas helps you understand yourself better. There's narrative study, reading the stories of others, and then using those stories from other teachers to reflect. Action research, right? Noticing what's going on in your classroom, trying something a little bit different, and then reflecting and seeing how it worked, kind of continuous cycle. Classroom observations, have another pair of eyes come in and watch something, or watch someone else's classroom and see what comes to your own mind in reflection upon your own teaching by seeing what other people are doing. Also case analysis, description of particular teaching situations. These are similar to narratives, but maybe focused around one particular activity within a lesson. So all of these are available, but again, the one I would like to introduce is that of critical friendships. You can see over here, ta-da, on the left. So why am I going to be talking about critical friendships? Because this is something that has worked extremely well for me. It's helped me understand myself as an educator, and also, it's useful and very flexible for lots of situations and lots of different people. And as it says here, I have critical friendships and then critical colleagues with a question mark. And part of the reason I put this here is I remember presenting this in a conference elsewhere, and there was a Japanese academic who came up at the end and said, I really like this idea. I think this is fantastic, but I don't think friendships is going to work in the Japanese context because most teachers don't want to be friends with their colleagues. He suggested using the term critical colleagues, right? And here, critical doesn't mean critique as in negative. This is critical as in extremely important to you, right? So it's a very important relationship that may offer some critique as a part of what they do in the relationship, but not just negative or being critical, but it's critical as very important. So you can use the term friendships, you can use the term colleagues, it's up to you. For me, I like the word friendship. I believe that it is possible to have a professional friendship, but I do understand why other people might have different understandings or interpretations of that particular word, and therefore colleagues would work as well. One thing to talk about with critical friendships and some of those other tools, I mentioned action research, right? In some ways, you can consider a critical friend a teacher who provides advice and assists in action research, right? If you are thinking about what you're doing in your classroom, perhaps you want to try something different and then go back and see how it worked and do that in consort with another person, right? You're doing action research, really. Eliot called these types of relationships second order action research because it is kind of an act of research in and of itself. And Farrell again mentions here that teachers who collaborate in a two-way mode that encourages discussion and reflection really improves the quality of both teaching and learning, right? And that's the quality of the teaching and the learning for the students, but also the learning for the teachers involved, right? So critical friends are those who collaborate. Here are some other definitions or kind of terminology or phrases that connect with the concept of critical friendships, right? Again, going back to Stenhouse, who first coined the term, Stenhouse described a critical friend as someone a teacher can speak with about their teaching in a collaborative manner, right? Again, collaborative with other people. Costa and Kalick call critical friend a trusted person, right? Trust is fundamental to selecting someone and finding someone that's a good friend for you. Again, a trusted person who asks provocative questions, right? Thought-provoking, perhaps provides data for you to look at through another lens, right? Offers a critique of a person's work as a friend, right? You can give suggestions and you can give feedback, but you don't have to be impersonal. You can be friendly. You can be close, right? You can have a trusting, open relationship to talk about your work. Other definitions here, right? Critical friends engage reflectively and encourages talking with, questioning, and even confronting the trusted other, right? Again, this word trust comes in. So it's important to trust the person that you are working with when you have a critical friendship. And another thing that I really like is the idea of critical friends as prisms, right? They're reflecting back the ideas you have, but maybe shifted, different color, or kind of changed in some way, right? And so each person has a different approach, or maybe the way they think about their teaching, and that can then help you as the other teacher. Another reason why I wanted to talk about this, and I think it's useful for people attending today, but for those interested in the work of the ELLI, is that in Japan, I think critical friendships are of particular use and particular benefit because there are a lot of government initiatives from the Ministry of Education encouraging professional development, but a lot of the policy is, here are suggestions that people should be doing or educators should be doing, but the specifics of what needs to be done, that's still left up either to individuals or it's left up to institutions to figure out how they're going to do so. Which means if an institution has the ideas and the resources, something happens, but if they don't, perhaps it doesn't. I think another thing to point out is that a lot of educators are isolated, right? In some schools, particularly with foreign language teachers, it's possible if you are not Japanese and you are teaching English, maybe you are the only English teacher who is not Japanese in a particular context, like ALTs or something like that. Or if someone is at university, maybe they're the only non-Japanese teacher in a particular department. And, you know, of course, you can talk with other colleagues, but there is a degree to which this might be a little bit isolating. If you want to talk with other English teachers, but you're the only English teacher around in a particular section or department. But so if it's isolating or you don't have a chance to connect with community, that can affect your well-being as a teacher, and also you lose out on opportunities to reflect. So I believe that critical friendships are actually already happening all over the population of teachers in Japan. It's just that we're not calling it formal professional development. We're thinking of it as informal, right? And we have other teachers that we talk to. Oh, you're also an English teacher? You're an English teacher? Well, let's talk about how are our classes going. And so maybe over lunch, we chat with someone or we grab coffee and talk about how things are going. We think of it as just catching up with a friend, but in reality, again, this is professional development, right? So recognizing that conversations you're already having are actually formalized professional development. Who are you talking to, right? Other people that happen to be in the same field as you, right? Maybe you're watching a movie, maybe you're watching a baseball game and chatting with them, whatever. But if you're talking about your teaching, it then shifts over into professional development. So I think what I would like people to take away from this is who are possible critical friends, people you could seek out as a partner, but more importantly, who are you already talking with? Who are your critical friends that maybe you've not realized are there? They're already contributing to your professional development. And another reason why I like the idea of both reflective practice and critical friendships in the Japanese context is it's really any context, is that it's accessible to all teachers. Oftentimes professional development is paywalled or there's gatekeeping. That gatekeeping could come in the form of institutions, universities. I think, of course, there's the topic of native speakerism, whose English is considered the best or the most preferable, and sometimes L1 speakers from inner circle countries like North America or parts of Europe. Those are considered the correct type or the best type of English. And this ignores very underrepresented voices within the language teaching kind of community in Japan. And I know many people connected with this organization today are also Filipino, and I think there are a lot of Filipino teachers across Japan teaching English that are perhaps not as recognized or not given as much recognition by the larger field as they should. And so if you don't have access to certain forms of professional development, this is a free way to access it, right? Like talking with other people, finding other people in your community that can help you reflect, in addition to whatever resources you may have that do, of course, maybe need financial support or, kind of spending of some nature. But I think for lots of teachers who don't have resources available, I think reflective practice and critical friendships are an excellent tool to make sure that you keep learning. A very quick, somewhat shameless plug, but just to kind of contextualize again the critical friendship point and why I recommend it. It comes from my own experience with a critical friend. This is a book that I edited that was published a few years ago with my colleague Adrian, and it started with our own critical friendship and how we helped each other adjust to kind of new positions. And then we realized as we went through it, this is very interesting. This could make a great book. Let's see if we can find other people who can talk about their critical friendships. And so if you're interested in learning more and seeing a variety of examples of critical friendships using different types, right? Maybe journals, maybe just spoken on articles, different things, this is a good resource for you. In the book, there are 3 types of friendships that we introduce. There's intra, so people within the same institution, right? In the same school, same department, right? Sometimes that's who we want to talk to. Sometimes that's who we can talk to, right? And that can be useful because you both know the context. But in other cases, having someone outside your context can be useful because they see the forest, whereas you are so close to something, you only see the trees. And those are the inter-institutional friendships. And then we also introduce some extra institutional, outside certain educational institutions entirely, I think, for example, members of professional organizations, right? That's one of the chapters that we have. Why am I mentioning this now? Well, because I think it's worth noticing that critical friendships, again, don't have to be just people inside one school working in the same place. You can be in two different places, outside formal schools, whatever. It's about making this work for you. And again, as I mentioned, I have my own critical friendship that I had with my friend Adrian. And how this was useful for me was it got me to, again, understand myself as a teacher, but also understand my role as a teacher education supporter. So what Adi and I did, we met basically every Friday for one academic year. And we would start by talking about what was going on in our classrooms or what was going on in our context. And then we would record these. And at the end of that, we would re-listen to the conversation. And we would look for keywords and then find articles that would support the other person's reflection. So it was my job to find an article that would help her reflect, and it was her job to find an article that would help me reflect. And then we would read those articles and then come back and talk to each other the following Friday, or maybe the Friday after that. Sometimes it was 1 week, other times it was a 2-week cycle. But we would use those articles for us to reflect on what we had talked about the previous week, and then maybe go deeper into the particular topic. And this particular pattern we repeated 6 or 7 times over the course of one academic year. And as I mentioned before, we were adjusting into new roles. She was starting at a new university and was being given a lot more responsibility. She had been in part-time positions before this, and this was her first full-time position in a very new space. And for me, I was stepping into the role that I'm in right now, supporting teacher professional development, and had to really learn how to balance or kind of reckon with my decisions of sometimes I have to prioritize, or I feel like I'm prioritizing my teachers over my students. And that's not inherently a bad thing, but I do think if I had not talked to her, if I had not had this other person to bounce ideas, I would have been much more critical of myself as a bad teacher. Oh, why am I not able to do this? How come I can't support my students better? Well, I wasn't doing a bad job. Perhaps I wasn't doing as well as I could do, but I was still teaching, and I was still teaching well, but my priority was shifted to making sure that my teachers got the support they needed first, right? And so again, this friendship helped me realize what I prioritize, who I prioritize, when and how, and what I'm willing to compromise on and what I'm not willing to compromise on with my teaching and my support of teachers. So again, this doesn't even have to just be about classroom practice. For me, it was about adjusting into a leadership kind of management role and what that meant as I supported both teachers and students. So kind of a final thing that I will mention about critical friends too is who you choose. As I mentioned before, you could choose someone in the same context as you, but you can also choose someone outside. And this particular continuum, you can see whatever is useful for you, kind of go one end or the other end of the spectrum. Maybe you want someone who understands your context because that helps you see things there. Maybe you want someone outside. Maybe you want someone you know really well, or maybe someone that you don't know so well, because having that emotional distance maybe helps you reflect, helps you keep things in perspective. Maybe you want one person, maybe you want multiple people to help you, and reflective practice circles rather than just a pair, right? Maybe you want it one way, more like perhaps mentoring, or maybe you want it reciprocal where you're both supporting each other. There's all kinds of different things. So the important thing with finding a critical friend, and also just reflective practice in general, is finding out what works for you. What is it you want out of this reflection, and what is going to give you the best possible kind of activity what's going to give you the best possible outcome in terms of your reflection. So in conclusion, kind of going back to that original point that I was given, please talk about learning communities, peer mentoring, and shared inquiry. Teachers are also in learning communities, right? Your critical friends, the other teachers around you, that's your learning community. And reflective practice and critical friends are a key part of that. Peer mentoring, we all have something that we can learn from others, and you can do that through reflective practice and critical friendships. And shared inquiry, right? Your best resource is yourself. Your next best resource is your fellow educators. So that's all the time in my presentation now. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, you can see there is a URL here. If you go to that particular address, you're welcome to write a question there, and hopefully I'll figure out a way to get an answer. You can save that web link and check in a few days. You're also welcome to send me an email here at my email address at Kanda. So once again, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations to everyone at the English Language Learning Institute. I wish you the best of luck on your endeavors as you get started.
Thank you very much, Jennie Roloff Rothman Sensei, for the insightful presentation about the importance of critical friendship and professional support team as a way of positive reflective practice. Again, Ms. Jennie has included a URL here. If you have any questions, please write the URL down, or we can, Director ELLI, we can give them the URL later, right?
Yes, give me a second. I'm sharing the.
Okay,
Right.
thank you. And back to you. Okay, back to you. Okay, there you go. There you go. Back to you, Director ELLI.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a really interesting talk, and here at ELI, we are very much willing to be your critical friends. Right? Well, one of our goals is to mentor teachers, and we can also for sure learn from you guys if you have something to share, or if you can find someone in the group later. If we can, once we have set up our memberships, maybe you can find someone here who can be your critical friend, who lives nearby, or who is also teaching in the same context. So let's make lots of critical friends here. So on the left side of your screen, the green QR code, you can read it to access Jennie's presentation slides. And on the right side is for you to access the documents, Google Doc, for the questions. If you have questions, please feel free to fill in the question in the Google document. So I'll give you time to scan these two. Please use your phone cameras to scan them, and it will lead you to 2 pages. Okay. Last 10 seconds, maybe. And of course, you can also leave some comments for Jennie, like if you have realized that you already have a critical friend, but you don't know you don't know it's called like that. So maybe you can give her a comment and or any feedback about her presentation. All right. Yeah, as I said, it will lead you to this kind of document, Google Doc. So just put your questions on the bullet forms. And Jenny will get back to you after a few days.
Are you all ready to wake up and to have some fun with us? All right. So if your fingers are quick enough to type in your answers, then you will be picked as the winner. Okay, my first question would be, ta-da! When was ELLI established? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, there's an answer already.
Please
Oh,
give us a
sugoy.
clarification.
Pamela.
We need the month and the year.
Yes,
Need
ma'am.
the month and the year.
Pamela wrote it correctly.
Oh.
Yay! I got it.
Congratulations. Who was that?
Pamela, it's Pamela.
Oh.
August 21, 2025. Wow, exacto.
Yes. Question number 2. What are the 4 principles of ELLI?
Go.
We need 4. They
Meron na
may
rin
not be in
kaagad, parang
order.
ini-expect yata.
Oh, yeah.
Mary Rosel Aldepola
Oh.
Poeta. Equity,
And that-
integrity, lifelong learning, and excellence.
Okay. Equity,
Congratulations,
lifelong
Miss,
learning. And that
Mary
means
Rosel.
ELLI.
Sugoy. Thank you, Apple. That's Apple.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I've been tasked to introduce our next speaker. So, after the ladies, we have a gentleman in the person of Mr. Michael Yap. Okay, so he's a lecturer at Meiho Junior and Senior High School, pursuing graduate studies in special education. Okay, he aims to create inclusive classroom experiences, support the English learning of a diverse student population, and promote professional growth among teachers for accessible, welcoming education. His passion is to make a positive impact on students and educators alike. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Michael Yap.
Hello, friends. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for inviting me to the launching of ELI. I'm quite excited how, I want to witness how ELI plans to support teachers in Japan, not only Filipino teachers, but other teachers as well. Now, my sharing this afternoon will focus on um, how education has changed through the years. But before I begin, I just want to make sure, am I coming okay to everyone? If you hear
Yes.
me, just do a thumbs up on the chat, please. Great. So let me set it up. All right. Just to facilitate our discussion this afternoon, if you have any questions as I do my presentation, please feel free to write them in the chat, or you can scan the QR code on the screen right now, and this will provide you access to Padlet. This Padlet bulletin board has the resources that a summary of resources that I used for this presentation. You can post your questions there, or if you want the questions to be answered immediately, please post them in the chat. When I started teaching in Japan, my initial purpose was just I wanted to have work so that I can survive. But as I moved forward, you start to realize that, wait, what are the other paths available to us? And I would like to talk about that everyone today. What is available to us in
Yes.
English language teaching? In order to do that, we'll look into 4 things. We'll look into the policies that Japan has done between 2019 and 2025. I'll just provide an overview. Feel free to look them up on your free time. So the overview will provide us with a general idea so that we can talk about the trends. How does this affect us as language teachers in Japan? What challenges are available, and what actions can we do so that we can resolve these difficulties? Now, as far as edu reforms are concerned, there have been a lot. But recently, especially during from 2027 and implementation in 2020, the new course of study for foreign language education was formalized for elementary school. And for participants who are working as ALTs in elementary school, that's why you are working as ALTs in elementary now, because from 2017 and formalized in 2020, English as a subject has been formally introduced in the 5th and the 6th grade, and English language activities are introduced from 3rd and 4th grade. The main purpose of this is to prepare the students so that they are ready to tackle language learning, more strict language learning when they go to middle school. Then in 2017, the same year, the new course of study for middle school or junior high school was finalized and fully implemented in 2021. The biggest change here are that the Ministry of Education wants a shift in focus. No longer focus, language teaching does not only focus on knowledge, but rather application. So there is a huge focus on communicative output and not just acquisition of vocabulary and grammar. And then in 2019, this has affected the new course of study for high school. And high school focuses now on writing, not just completing sentences, but rather full texts that are critically thought and properly put in place. So this has affected our jobs quite significantly, and that this actually requires us to adjust as well. But on top of these three big courses of study, in 2023, the Japanese government implemented a basic plan for promotion of education. And for the promotion of education, they highlighted 16 different educational policy targets that they plan to achieve between 2023 and 2027. So we're looking at the next 4 years to hopefully achieve these things. I will go through some of the targets as we move forward, but mainly the main goal of this is that we're fostering foreign language learning in students so that they can become active members of society. So again, the main goal of the 16 policy targets is to provide, to make sure that students actively use what they learn so that they can critically think and plan and improve the Japanese way of well-being. So the policy emphasis is there should be a continuity in the lessons from elementary school to secondary education. So all the language skills that they build, elementary provides the foundation, and it's carried over into secondary education so that identified issues in the past can be addressed, specifically in production. So what are the core educational visions if you combine all these policies? We're looking at a development of knowledge and skills. The main goal of language learning is no longer just language learning. There should be an opportunity for students to use the language in critical thinking, solving skills, and application. And through their learning, ideally, teachers should help students promote working together, collaborative work, so that they motivate each other and there is a better social understanding, an understanding of differences, so that they can learn from each other as well. The third core educational vision is that there is equal opportunity for learning for everyone, focusing on individual strengths, their learning interests, and their capabilities. So what are the general trends? What does this mean for us language teachers now? This means there is a shift to communicative competence. So again, we're shifting from knowledge to communication. We understand that language is better learned when you use it. So while students are learning grammar and vocabulary with their general English, ALTs or solo teachers who we ELTs are given the opportunity to teach the students to use the language. How? Use the language in 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. but this is divided into 5 different areas. If you notice, speaking is divided into 2. Speaking as interaction, meaning communicative practice. It can be transactional, it can be communicative. And the other one is production, presentations, discussions. In order for teachers to be able to evaluate that the students are able to do what they need to do, we refer to the CEFR abilities and the can-do statements. So teachers are encouraged to understand the different can-do statements so that they can incorporate this into their lesson plans. We're also mandated to make our lessons more active and individualized. Individualized in the sense that we're not teaching one-on-one, but rather individualized in the sense that we understand what the students need. Adjust the lessons according to their interests, to what they want to do, what are their motivations to learning. And hopefully this creates a lesson that are more proactive, interactive, and authentic. The Ministry of Education is also mandates as much as possible that English is a medium of instruction, specifically in lower secondary school. Now, there's a lot of discussion on this, whether when is the right time to provide English as a medium of instruction. Some researchers would refer to a bilingual medium of instruction, so that we gradually scaffold instruction in both the students' native tongue and in English. And once they are used to it, we move into English as the medium of instruction to make students much more comfortable in using English. The MEX is also encouraging teachers to understand contextualized learning, using content from their other subjects and real-world situations so that we can incorporate them into our lessons. So they're not learning English in a vacuum, but they're learning English to be able to apply and use what they know. There is also a drive in the expansion of formats like using ICT and adaptable flexible learning. By utilizing flipped classrooms and blended approaches, we expand the learning opportunities using ICT to prepare the students before they come to class. And they can use ICT to practice what they've learned in class and continue doing it outside of class. Not everybody could use ICT, so teachers are encouraged to see how these can be personalized to each student, and therefore teach them how to develop self-directed learning using all the tools that are available so that they can practice on their own. However, MEX is also very aware that not all areas in Japan can provide the same tools and resources in the urban areas. So teachers who are assigned to more rural or areas that don't have the same resources as the urban areas, to be flexible and creative enough to adapt what they have in their instruction. MEX, because of these changes, MEX is emphasizing the need for teachers, JTEs and ALTs, to utilize external human resources. What are these? Expanding the placement of ALTs. We notice now that there are more ALTs in elementary schools, and because in the past, many elementary school teachers are not used to teaching English, ALTs tend to solo teach, and they are the primary lesson planners. And this will be an ongoing trend until the homeroom teachers get sufficient training to be able to teach English on their own. But there is also a call to strengthen and enrich ALT training, because before, JTEs would have the primary role of lesson planning, and the ALTs provide support. But now the scales shift slightly. They sometimes could be equal, sometimes the ALTs are given more responsibilities. And some ALTs who are not ready for that do not know what to do. So there is actually a need for professional development. Another trend is that there is a rise of specialist teachers. Boards of education and private educational institutions are actually looking for talent. And this is where the growth comes in. As ALTs build their skills in their own teaching experiences, you tend to find where do you want to specialize in? Do you want to specialize in educational technology? Do you want to specialize in inclusive education and accessible education? Do you want to become reading specialists? There is a need for that. And ALTs can maximize these training to determine what kind of specialist teachers they can be. So the changes and opportunities are very promising, but there are still also ongoing challenges. As teachers, we want the best for our students, and we suggest what can we do better in our classes. However, there are some limitations. One of those limitations are our JTEs are constantly experiencing systemic workforce strain. There's a shortage of teachers, there is no designated English teacher in the classroom, especially for public school, because of the limitation. And experienced English teachers, because they have been in the program for a very long time, they have to retire, and the Board of Education could not find any replacement. This is an ongoing issue that teachers are not just teachers, but they are also coaches. They also do administrative work. So they are pretty much overworked. And the problem is now when we ALTs would suggest certain changes. This is a change that they would not want to adapt immediately because of the existing workload. And for those who are willing to adapt to it, there is the issue of assignment continuity, especially in public school. Japanese teachers are moved from one assignment to the other. The change of assignment could happen within the school, where they initially teach the first grade, then they teach a second grade. There's a continuity in that sense, but they could not develop a mastery of what they have planned in the first year because they have to learn something else in the following year. And for those who have developed the mastery, sometimes they are moved from one school to the other. While they can apply it to their next school, sometimes the context can be quite different. There are also ICT implementation hurdles. A lot of our teachers actually struggle to understand how to maximize ICT and implement it in language learning. So this is another struggle. And the problem of underinvestment in education. Well, compared to other countries, yes, it seems that Japan has a lot of resources, but if you look at it from the OECD context, Japan spends about 3% of its GDP in education compared to other countries, which around rates around 4.4. So Japan is still quite low. Now, because of the changes also, teachers are realizing that, especially after the pandemic, there are a lot of changes among the students. There is an increase of school refusals, students who don't want to come to school. There is a disconnection in the learning progression. Some students do not find meaning in learning. Teachers are also realizing that there is a low speaking and writing proficiency among students, not only in English as a foreign language, but even in Japanese. And there are an increasing recognition of student difficulties in English learning. Let me share to you some of the information in the next slide. In 2020, MEXT ran a survey, and teachers reported that they found about 68.8% of students have difficulty memorizing words. 45.7% do not understand grammar. 50.2% have difficulty converting letters to sounds and vice versa. And all these three affect their willingness to learn English. And on top of this, teachers also noticed that there's a 27.5% in the population of students who resist to learn English. Reasons are varied. When it comes to difficulties, in 2022, MEX also ran a survey to determine the number of what kind of difficulties students with learning difficulties are in the classroom. And teachers reported that they notice that 2.5% may show or present the difficulty in listening or speaking, 3.5% have difficulties in reading and writing, 3.4% have difficulties in reasoning and calculating, while 3.6% have difficulties in attention. So all of this come together in the difficulties that we face in the classroom. Now, looking at the opportunities and the problems, what can we do as teachers? Because by applying and determining what action plans, we can actually determine what our own pathways. Hopefully, by determining our own pathways, we can see what can we do beyond what we are doing right now. So there is a call for a reform for classroom instruction. So we teachers have to learn how to design and implement active learning opportunities. So these opportunities are no longer teachers focused, but rather student centered. We can do this by incorporating grammar instruction to immediate language use. We can also apply what they already know, and so that we can focus on depth and application. Another way to make sure that the students are much more involved in the language learning process is providing them with interactive opportunities to improvise language rather than scripted language. Provide opportunities for them to interact with each other in the foreign language, in the target language. Therefore, they're using the language all the time. To support this, we also utilize these activities to expand the topic range. For elementary school, maybe the topics could range from common topics from colors, numbers, so those will be the foundations. But as they move up in education, then we can look into hobbies or Japanese culture. How can they talk about festivals to make it easier for non-Japanese to understand? So, and in the process, we can use speaking activities as a confirmation of language. There is a call for looking into alternative assessment forms. How can we test students that they are able to use the language and not just written tests? So to enhance curriculum connection and content integration, teachers are encouraged to learn more about CLIL. Content and language integrated learning. How it encourages us to look into what are they learning right now? What do they already know? So that when we establish what the students already know, the bridge to the foreign language is much closer. For younger students, focus on English for daily life or survival English. And as they move up, maybe provide them opportunities to talk about Japanese culture. Teachers are also encouraged to upskill themselves so that they can help students to manage language learning anxiety. What are the causes of the anxiety? Once we determine the causes of anxiety, then we can provide opportunities for students to manage and self-regulate so that they can focus on the learning. Accessible instruction is not focusing on fixing issues with the student. That is not our role. Our role is to teach the language. So our role is to focus on the strengths. What can the students already do? What skills do they already have? And we maximize those so that we can mitigate that with the difficulties that they have. When it comes to accessible instruction as well, sometimes the difficulty is not only with the student, sometimes it's in the delivery of the lesson. So we teachers need to identify what are the barriers in our teaching that causes a student, makes it difficult for the student to understand our lessons. Once we identify the barrier learning, make them remove them so that the students can participate more and they can progress. We are also encouraged to utilize EdTech again. The pandemic has provided us, while it was really bad, it has provided us with opportunities to explore other means of teaching. We can use educational technology to increase the student interest and provide shortcuts to instruction. We can use EdTech to maximize our audiovisual materials so that students can access them outside of class. And this is an opportunity for us to look for support systems, and hopefully ELI can provide that. Professional development opportunities where we can use EdTech to maximize how we can teach the language. If you are interested in accessible learning and barrier-free instruction, same as what Jennie mentioned earlier, this is a book that was published by Menard and Candlin. It's a barrier-free instruction in Japan. You can access the book and know more about the book in the QR code here. The book covers different levels of instruction from elementary all the way to university. So whatever your language teaching context is, hopefully you can find something that can help you improve your teaching instruction. So just to summarize, what do we need to remember? Educational reforms are providing us with the things that we need to change in our own classroom. What do we need to adapt? What do we need to adjust? But the main adjustment starts actually from us, our mindset change. We have to maximize our roles in helping our students so that we can find ways to upskill them. What are needed for upskilling? We have to upskill ourselves, pedagogy-wise, EdTech, inclusive and accessible instruction. But I'm not saying we have to learn everything. I would suggest that find what you want to learn. What is your motivation? Based on your respective educational context, what specialty do you want to focus on? And hopefully that can lead you to a pathway where you can see your personal growth in language teaching in Japan. That way, we can address student needs based on this changing educational atmosphere and ecosystem. I understand that policy, there is a great demand in policy, and it's not, the growth on the ground is pretty slow, but we are part of that system now. So the question is, what can we do? How can we be part of that change? And whatever challenge we intend to take, we hope that ELI will be there to help us hand in hand. And that is it for me today. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Michael Yap. And to facilitate the questions, we have about 10 minutes for your questions about the presentation. I'd like to call in Marife Carpio.
Right, everyone. A few have posted some comments in our chat a while ago, and I would just like to read this for everyone. As I am reading, if you have questions for Sir Michael, please feel free to raise your hand or post them in the chat group. I'm sorry, in chat, right? There's a comment here. The irony is the teaching methods are actually ideal. It is hard for traditional Japanese teachers to individualize or differentiate learning. Maybe because they weren't trained that way. Not a lot of workshops for Japanese teachers deal on the topic either. And add to that is the workforce strain that Sir Mike is talking about. Plus workload that is way beyond that affects teachers' well-being. Just an observation, curriculum connection versus content integration sounds really promising. But reality is that ALTs like me have limited power on the curriculum provided by the Board of Education. Any comment on this one, Sir Mike?
Okay, so yes, that is utterly very challenging because especially if you're positioned as an ALT, you are following a curriculum that has already been pre-designed by the Board of Education. But I would like to also, there is actually an opportunity for ALTs to be curious and look into what are the students actually learning right now. And that way, if you are also aware of what the students are learning outside of foreign language learning, you can provide that comment or suggestion. How can we integrate these two? They already know this in Japanese. Can we incorporate that in foreign language? Maybe not textbook, because the textbook is also that's also been predetermined. But for example, Saitama BOE creates their own curriculum where they uh, encourage students to do critical thinking, initial research, and these are things that they can actually use what they already know. So it's a matter of the bridge. We can play the role as the bridge to see what the students already know and apply that to language learning.
It's a tough balancing act.
It's tough, yeah, it's a tough balancing act, but there is an opportunity there.
There is indeed, and I hope everyone can find that opportunity as well.
Mhm.
Right. Sir Mike, which you posted or you shared with us a lot of challenges and obstacles a while ago, and which of
Mhm.
these challenges do you think is the most urgent to address
Ooh.
in your well, in your current context?
In my current context, I think I would say in my context, it's English as a medium of instruction. Um, I'm lucky enough to be given the opportunity to teach solo. So I do deliver my classes all in English, but understanding that students do not immediately understand instructions in English, there is a need to go bilingual from time to time. Maybe at the beginning of the school year, you go bilingual, you provide the Japanese instruction, then you follow it up with an English instruction. And as the students become more familiar with the instruction, then you can go full English. Does this happen with the JTEs? Maybe not, because again, it really depends on their confidence or their willingness to use English as a medium of instruction. That is an ongoing discussion in my educational institution. Some teachers try. Some teachers are quite they prefer not to because again, I think it would refer back to the Japanese Japanese mindset of a teacher should be the model for the students, so therefore they do not want to make any kind of mistake. But there is another model that we can also provide to the students that we're only human as teachers. We can make mistakes, and mistakes are part of the learning. And if we provide that opportunity for students to use mistakes as an opportunity to improve, then I think that's a better way to move forward rather than presenting perfection. We present the process.
And we have a very timely comment here. We indeed need mindset change, right? Mindset change is foundational. Without it, even the biggest or most elaborate strategies won't take root. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments? Someone raised a hand a while ago. The name happens to be the code actually. 5CDZZ2, where are you? You raised a hand a while ago. Please go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question. She's still here. I don't see her anymore. She raised a hand a while ago. Oh, nawala siya. Bigla po siyang nawala. Someone raised a hand a while ago. All right. Do we have any more questions? We got room for one more. Someone? This is your chance.
If there are no questions now, please feel free to post your questions in the Padlet that I provided earlier. Yeah. If not now, maybe later when you get to have the chance to look into the resources.
Right. Okay, if you need, can we post the QR code again So
Sure.
maybe some of them are a little bit shy in asking questions at the moment. So please, can we share again, Sir Mike? Thank you very much.
Sure.
Maybe just here okay, one more. Someone sent in a message. If we imagine Japan's education system 10 years from now, what do you hope will change the most?
10 years from now?
10 years from now, daw po.
Does the question ask what changes can we anticipate, or is it what changes do we want to see?
I think because the question says, do you hope? So maybe what changes do we want to see perhaps?
Ah, I would want to see more students looking at language education beyond the test.
Yes, yun eh.
I hope that students start to see that language education is not just, okay, I learned this list of vocabulary, I'll do the test and forget about it. I hope that students see it as, oh, this is an opportunity for me to express my thoughts in another language. This is an opportunity for me to learn more about other resources that I have that are not available in Japanese, and hopefully open their minds to learning more about the world and learning more about society. And that would allow them to be more open to differences. But again, there are changes happening. If you, again, from my personal experience, I've seen a lot of change. There are more students who are keener to learn. There's lesser resistance. There's still resistance. There are some students who still do not want to or do not see the importance of learning English as a foreign language. But there are more students who want to use it for a particular purpose. And hopefully that grows. So if you're asking about the wish, I hope that there will be more of these students.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Mike. Any other questions? If you still have some questions later on, please take a screenshot of what you can see on your screen at the moment. This is the link to the Sir Mike's Padlet, and he can answer your questions later on. Okay. Again, Sir Mike, thank you very much for joining us
Maraming
this
salamat
afternoon.
po.
Maraming salamat po. And your
Thank you very much,
presentation,
Sir
there's a lot of
Mike. Thank you so
information
much.
in there that we have to absorb. And this really shows that even with systemic challenges, there are real opportunities para sa ating mga teachers to design more meaningful, more connected, and accessible learning experiences. Again, maraming salamat po, and mabuhay.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Mike Yap. Yeah, I wanted to comment about Cleo and the professional developments that he was talking a while ago, because we already have those programs here in Eli. If you guys, I know a few of you here are finishers of our TESOL pathways, and you took Cleo, teaching Cleo as one of the sessions. And we are very proud to be at the forefront of these changes that we want the, to be done in the English education in Japan, and one of them is Cleo. So hopefully you guys can use Cleo in your classes. And speaking of Cleo, it's not only about whole hour Cleo, or changing the whole curriculum that you have. You can pick up just maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes in a lesson, change a little bit of things, and integrate Cleo in your everyday lessons. All right, so before we proceed with our the introduction of our programs at Eli, we are going to have another round of trivia, so you guys can win your special prizes. Are you ready?
Yay!
Okay.
All right, are you ready to stretch your brains again?
Or memory?
We're now on trivia number 3, sir.
Okay. Right.
Don't show the question.
Okay. Question number 3. ELI's mission is to advance English education in Japan through community and intercultural collaboration. Type in your answers. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh,
We
only have Roxy.
yeah, training and research. Is that correct?
That's right. Training and research.
At nanalo ka, Gia. Congratulations.
Okay, just to highlight, Doc Mape. Doc Mape, let's go back to training. Why do we need training?
Why do we need
Because-
training?
Yeah,
Because
why do we need training? Because better trained teachers have better learning students. Yay!
yay. And how about research?
Research. This will help us understand what are the teaching learning things that will work best in our classrooms.
yes, yes. And also to keep up with the trends of
Yeah.
English language teaching.
Yes, and ELI is on that. Yay!
We always have to be up to date. Go.
All right. And on trivia question number 4. Okay, stretch your fingers. Woo! ELI envisions empowered teachers and learners through innovative and connected English education. Gia, you're out.
Dun, dun, na, na, na,
3,
na.
You can actually use the number of
question.
lines for as
2,
hint.
First letters.
Hint,
Now.
hint.
If
T.
you checked our website a while ago, you can find the
Innovative,
answer there.
inclusive daw.
Oh,
We
innovative is
need two
already given.
answers.
Innovative is
innovative
there.
is already there.
Okay.
Two answers.
Inclusive.
I think
and
someone has got it. I think Urson,
Yeah, he did.
Urson,
Got it?
Duroy?
Urson, yes.
He wrote that.
Inclusive and globally.
That's right.
Yes.
Inclusive and globally.
Globally
Okay.
connected. Pero tatlo yung binigay niya, baka disqualified.
Disqualified.
Nabigay
Need
namin
two
yan.
answers,
Hindi,
Urson. No
dapat may
kidding.
bonus siya,
Nabigay na
sir.
yan. Mas maganda
You
yung
should have a
maraming
bonus.
Yeah.
Innovative is already there, so okay lang.
Yes.
He
Oh,
did-
it's okay. He got it.
May lifelong learning pa.
Ginilingan niya.
Okay. Why inclusive globally? It means that we are creating a society, an organization where all people are valued equally. And opportunities are also given equally, no matter what your age is, what your nationality is. In ELI, we are an inclusive organization.
Pachi-pachi.
Yes, we're trying to make a community where no learner is left behind and
Yeah.
no teacher is left behind.
Yay!
Yes.
Not just
Okay.
a person's ego.
Yes. All right. So to continue, we are now at our proudest moment because we are introducing our program to you guys, and I hope that these programs can be of value to you as teachers and as lifelong learners. Um. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So to talk about more on these programs, let's call on Marife Carpio.
Director Mafe.
Right. Thank you very much, Ellie. Again, good afternoon, everyone. So with me in this presentation is Ms. Maria Teresa Nibori. But before I introduce our services, I would like to reiterate that ELI is a registered General Incorporated Association. In Japanese, we say Ippan Shadan Hojin. And this means we are legally recognized and not-for-profit organization with a clear and educational mission. And importantly, most importantly, any certificates issued by ELLI carry formal organizational backing. And I believe that is very important to build your professional portfolio, especially to those who are beginners in the field or those who are still on their way to their teaching career. Okay, so to continue, I believe this was shown by ELLI a while ago. All right, our core services for teachers. We offer a comprehensive set of services designed to support teachers at every stage of their professional journey. And I believe some of those we have served at the very beginning know how we do it at ELLI. And so for those who haven't experienced this, I hope you can join us in future events, programs, webinars, and seminars of ELLI. Our core program focus is on three main areas. You have them here, as you can see, the TESOL Pathways, which is our structured certification program. We have certificate courses, workshops, and we offer flexible and practical training. Also, we have teacher community and mentoring, which connects educators through shared learning and collaboration. Right. To begin with, let me talk a little bit more about TESOL Pathways. This is our flagship program. It's a 120-hour certificate program. 120 hours means contact and non-contact hours. It combines face-to-face sessions with online sessions and modules. And this hybrid format allows our teachers to upskill while managing their schedules. Some TESOL providers provide full online courses or full online programs, but at ELLI, we believe we still need a face-to-face interaction for it to be richer, especially for those teachers of very young learners. Kailangan pa rin natin talaga ng face-to-face sessions so that we can ask and verify information right away. The curriculum is very practical. It covers lesson planning, classroom management, materials development, technology integration, and approaches as have been mentioned by speakers a while ago, content and language integrated learning, task-based learning, project-based learning. Okay, if you don't know this, join ELLI and we can tell you more about these approaches. One key feature of the TESOL Pathways is the practicum, where teachers conduct real lessons and receive detailed mentor feedback. Our practicum is both on a classroom setting and online teaching setting. It's really ideal for both beginners who are seeking confidence and even for experienced teachers seeking structured professional growth. So if you don't have your TESOL yet, and if you know some people who are in need of TESOL certificates, please send us a message and we can work things out for you. We are actually planning our next TESOL, the third batch. Okay, so you can see here in the picture, we have 2 batches already, right? So these are our TESOL graduates, and we are getting ready for our third batch in 2026, first quarter of 2026. Okay, moving on for our certificate programs, we offer practical multi-day training designed for specific teaching contexts. And these programs combine methodology, skills development, and hands-on practice, including tons of opportunities for teachers to try out activities and, of course, receive feedback from our mentors. We are currently preparing 2 certificate programs to launch soon. We hope we can set things, we can get things ready so that we can also start it first quarter of 2026. Okay, we're setting things up. And one of those is on teaching English to younger learners or children. And another is focused on teaching English to teenagers. So we're talking junior high school and high school students. Both are short workshops, probably 2-day workshops. We'll see how it goes. And these are designed to give teachers concrete tools that they can use immediately. Alongside this, we are also aiming to offer shorter workshops and webinars throughout the year, covering really practical topics like the TBL, PBL, CLIL, assessment, of course, and classroom technology, as our chairperson has mentioned a while ago. As for our teacher community and mentoring, ELLI is not only about formal training, it's also about building a strong teacher community. So through our learning circles and peer sharing events, teachers can exchange ideas, classroom strategies, and your best practices. We also, of course, support collaborative projects such as lesson study groups, co-developing materials, and even joint classroom activities. Our experienced educators, our pool of experienced educators can serve as mentors, especially for those who are in our TESOL pathways. And for our services for our learners, Ma'am Tere?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I would just like to add, Ma'am Mafe, that the teacher mentoring collaboration, we are not a one woman team or a one man team. Okay, everybody will be given opportunities to share what they know, their expertise, especially if you're a TESOL graduate, as what Doc Mafe has just mentioned. We will be giving you the chance to show what you have learned. Okay, it's not just a one man or one woman egotistical training. No, we will be a collaboration. We will all be partners with you. We will all be we will form critical friendships with one another. We will all be together in this support team. Okay, now for our services for learners, I might go overboard with what I wanted to say. Okay, for learners, ELLI designs programs where English is used for real purposes, projects, presentations, problem solving, and of course, not to forget our intercultural exchange. First, we offer immersion courses, short courses, tutorials, and other immersion sessions like boot camps. Okay, a day of short course, or 2 days or 3 days. Okay, it really depends on the needs of the learners. These programs will give the learners sustained opportunities to use English meaningfully in real world context. Okay, our goal is to help learners feel that they can really use English, not just I got a good test score in English. Okay, next, we also have content-based English programs. These are specialized courses such as business English, academic English, global issues, project-based themes, and intercultural communication designed to help learners use English for real academic and professional purposes. And of course, we engage in collaborative projects with schools, with cram schools, with like businesses, small businesses in the community, in the neighborhood, local governments. Okay, these projects often focus on communication, global issues, or community-based English use, giving learners authentic tasks and experiences. We are right now formulating the different curriculum and course study or course programs for all levels, elementary, junior high school, senior high school, even like first year and second year or first year college students. Okay, we have a wide range of curriculums and course studies for them. Together with these services, the learners will build confidence, fluency, and real-world communicative ability. Okay, so I guess that's it for the learners. Thank you so much, and see you soon in our ELLI programs and workshops.
All right, to continue, as have been mentioned by Ms. Nibori, ELLI is built on collaboration. So with our programs, we intend to work with schools and teachers in Japan who want to design better English programs. We also would like to work or collaborate with universities and institutions, not only in Japan, but also in other countries and beyond. Okay, so we're not just concentrating here in Japan. We would like to know more about the situations in other countries. Also, we aim to work with local governments and education offices who want meaningful, language-based projects for the youth. We are small and new, but we are looking forward to having a network that is wide and experienced. So how can you join us? How can you be part of ELLI? There are many meaningful ways to connect with ELLI. For teachers, you can join our TESOL Pathways program or participate in our workshops. We also welcome teachers who want to be part of our learning circles and who want to be part of our collaborative projects. We have spaces where educators can share their ideas, they can co-create lessons and even learn, especially learn from one another. Of course, you can join us as a regular member. At the moment, we have 6 directors, but we are welcoming general members to ELLI. I will talk about this in a little while. And if you are an experienced educator, you can also contribute as a mentor, a presenter, or even help us develop new teaching materials and resources. For schools and institutions, if there are here who are owners of their own eikaiwas or even in institutions that can see the possibility of partnering with ELLI, we offer partnerships to design English immersion programs, customized teacher training, or special English modules that suit your context, whether that's academic English, global issues, or content-based learning. Institutions also can host practicum sessions for our TESOL Pathways or collaborate with us on joint research and curriculum development. So how can you join immediately? We have here our community spaces. We will be posting information about this on our Facebook page and on our website. At the moment, we have 2 where you can join right away. Well, the other one is not right away. You have to wait for January 2026. So that is our Language Teachers Cafe, which we will be holding online on one Sunday of the month from 3 p.m. So we will have the first one. I think we have already scheduled this one. Is that January 11, everyone? No, second week.
Yes, January 11th, second
there you go.
Sunday.
Second week of January 2026. The Language Teachers Cafe is a relaxed meetup where teachers can enjoy free professional development. You can share your challenges, you can exchange ideas, and simply connect with others who understand the daily life of teachers, especially here in Japan. Okay? We also invite teachers to contribute to our blog, particularly under the Voices from the Field. So if you visit our website, you can see this space, and I think we need contributors. Of course, we will credit the articles to the respectful authors, right? The Voices from the Field is a platform for sharing your classroom stories, your reflections, best practices, and I believe it's a great way to inspire others while highlighting your own professional voice. Okay? These are wonderful ways that you can stay connected with other teachers and to help ELLI grow a supportive teaching community. And as I have mentioned a while ago, join us as a general member. Starting January 2026, ELLI will open general membership to teachers and supporters of English education. The membership fee, as you can see here, is 3,000 yen for 3 years. All right, with this membership, members will receive 6% discount on TESOL Pathways. So if you haven't had your TESOL and you would like to join TESOL Pathways, that's already 6% off if you are a general member of ELLI. Plus 5 to 10% discounts on our other seminars and certificate programs throughout the year, throughout your whole membership, of course. Membership also gives you priority access to our events. If you are members, we will include you in our mailing list and you will get first dibs on our event information, workshops, and other sessions. Okay? We know you understand that this membership structure will help us sustain our programs while trying to keep them affordable and accessible for teachers. Right? If you want to get to know more about ELLI, you can access our website. It's very easy to memorize, www.elli-edu.com. You will also find our blog, Voices from the Field, and updates on upcoming workshops and certificate courses on this website. Also, we are very much, where is that? We are also present on social media. We have our FB page, and we will also be opening our YouTube channel soon. So we invite you to follow our Facebook page. Here you can simply take a screenshot of this one, or you can simply search English Language Learning Institute. And well, there are actually other ELLI out there, but look for this picture. Okay, it's one of the easiest way to connect with ELLI and to hear about new events as soon as they are released. All right. Yes, bring your own coffee. Mary says, bring your own coffee. Definitely. There are many groups out there, but we believe ELLI offers something quite specific. We are deeply grounded in the day-to-day reality of teaching and learning English in Japan. Our board members are active teachers, trainers, and program designers. We connect Japan with the partners which have strong reputation for English language education and training. And we are looking forward to collaborating with the Commission on Higher Education. For those who were present during the talk of our CHED chairperson, I believe you have heard about the opportunities that we can connect with other teachers in the Philippines and in other parts of the world. And most importantly, we focus on concrete programs. We're not just talking about slogans. We are talking about something legit, something tangible. And we look forward to having you with us in the future. That's it for me. Thank you very much. And looking forward to see everyone in future events and programs of ELLI.
All right, thank you very much, Marifea and Maria Teresa Nigori. We are going to have our open forum in a little while. So if you guys have any questions about ELLI's program, about your teaching context, if you have questions about how to do this in your classroom, or you have this kind of problem in your classroom, we are willing to answer those questions in a little while. So please stay tuned and please prepare your questions. Before that, just a few announcements. All right. So Marife mentioned about the membership. So again, general membership to ELLI is 3,000 yen for the term of 3 years, and it gives you a lot of benefits. And if you want to become member already, please scan this the QR code that you see on your screen. Okay, it just asks you about your name, your full name, and your address, email, and your teaching context. We will not charge yet because we are in the process of opening our bank account. And once everything is settled, we will send you an email on how to proceed with your payments. Okay? So just to make sure that you are on board, please scan the QR code that you see on your screen. Okay, I hope everyone got the screenshot already. And another one, we have the language cafe on um, January 11th. First, second, it's it is supposed to be first Sunday of each month, but well, January is the first month of the year. Everyone still has hangover from the new year, so we'll do it January 11th, 3 p.m. It's gonna be online. Bring your own coffee or your biscuits. You can eat, drink, while talking to teachers, and um it's free. Okay, so anyone can join, either a member or not of Eli yet. You can join. You can spread the word to your friends. You can come with your knowledge, ideas that you want to share. And um, for our first session, we're going to talk about different things like um how do you adapt or grow with 21st century learners, modern learners, like the technology, classroom management, with the kind of learners that we have now in our classrooms, and all those basic stuff as well. Okay, so I hope you guys join us. You can scan the QR code here to register, and we'll send you um maybe a week before the event. Okay, again,
Oh,
it's free.
Ellie, I would just like to add that the Language Teachers Cafe, the lead in the Language Teachers Cafe, the speakers, I mean, will not just come from Eli. It will also come from our community. So whoever is interested on making a presentation or sharing something, please
Mm.
send us a message. We welcome contributions from everyone.
And also, Doc Maf, it does not have to be a formal presentation. It can be sharing your experiences, the issues that you encountered inside the classroom. It's a relaxed, right? Relaxed way of talking to other educators, to other teachers, so that you will gain knowledge and will be able to share what you want to share. Very relaxed and not informal. Okay, so please feel free. Okay, everyone is invited.
And if you want proper presentation skills, maybe you want to present in a conference or in a uh in an event in the future, and you want to start practicing it online, this can be a good event for you guys. But you don't have to prepare, and it's just, your coffee. All right. So I hope you read the QR code here. Okay, and we are very happy to tell you that our next batch of TESOL is on in February of 2026 in Hamamatsu. Okay, Hamamatsu Shizuoka. This is hybrid, so we have online sessions and face-to-face sessions for those hands-on seminars in Hamamatsu. So if you guys live nearby, like Toyohashi, Hamamatsu, Kosai, Shizuoka City, or Fukuroi, please join us. Okay, even those in Aichi. I think our venues are just a few minutes from the train station, so very accessible. All right. And if you want to learn more about the TESOL pathways, please scan the QR code that you see here. We will also upload them with the video of our seminar today, of our events today. We will upload them our Facebook page.
Hindi po ako medical doctor, okay? Huwag po kayo magpa-consult
Pero
sa akin ng inyong mga sakit.
pero tama yung Marife Carpio.
Tama yung Marife Carpio. Yes, Tyring, congratulations. And the final prize goes to Dyrene. Thank you very much for joining us this
Thank you very
afternoon.
much.
Yeah, just like an
Okay.
additional comment, a while ago, you have had a taste of how we wanted to do it here in Eli. We welcome your contributions, whether it's suggesting topics, sharing your expertise, or simply showing up and engaging. At Eli, we want to have every voice from different perspectives. We believe every voice matters, and every effort helps us move closer to our goals. And we want to become a better organization. We want to be more accessible, and we want to become more meaningful professional development coordinators.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can reach
Thank you
out
again
to
for
us
being part of this beginning.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone. This webinar will be uploaded on YouTube with chapters, so you can skip through them, and you can also share them to your friends. Spread the word. There's a new organization, but not so new because they have experience, doing professional development for teachers. Please become members. We will post the links soon. And invite your friends as well. Okay, we would love to have more people on board and change the English education in Japan. All right. Um, thank you for spending 3 hours of your Sunday afternoon. We appreciate that sincerely, and we hope to see you again January. Other viruses are going around, please stay warm and safe. Okay. And if
Hydrated
you
and
have,
stay
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Stay safe.
If you have any questions, still you know where to reach us. Thank you very much again, and see you again online and hopefully in person.